That empty Rolex display case isn't a sign of overwhelming demand. It's evidence of a rigged game. For years, the story you were sold about artisanal production and impossible-to-meet demand was a carefully managed facade. The truth is, the scarcity was engineered. A hidden network of dealers, fueled by an insatiable appetite from China, systematically drained the global supply of the most desirable watches, leaving you with nothing but an empty promise on a waitlist. Today, we expose the entire mechanism, how it was built, who it benefited, and why the whole system is now coming crashing down. For years, you've walked into a Rolex dealer and seen the same thing: empty display cases. They tell you there's a years-long waitlist. That demand is just too high for their master watchmakers to keep up. But what if I told you that scarcity was an illusion? A carefully engineered market condition designed to benefit a hidden network of insiders. Today we're exposing how the China grey market rigged Rolex prices for years and why the game is now falling apart. If you appreciate getting the real story behind the luxury world, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. The entire Rolex price bubble was built on a single powerful contradiction. Rolex wants you to picture a small, artisanal workshop. The reality is that Rolex is a manufacturing titan, pumping out an estimated 1.24 million watches in 2023 alone. That's more than Cartier, Omega, Audemars Piguet, Richard Mille, and Patek Philippe combined. So if they're making over 1 million watches a year, where are they all going? The answer lies in the grey market. Now, to be clear, the grey market isn't the black market. It's the trade of 100% authentic, genuine watches through legal but unauthorized channels. It's the shadow economy that exists because the official Rolex system is, by design, broken for the average customer. This system starts with Rolex creating an artificial famine for its most popular steel sports models, the Submariners, Daytonas, and GMTs. They send only a handful of these to their authorized dealers, or ADS, each year. The AD can't sell a watch over its retail price, but they can use the promise of getting a hot watch to force you to buy other things. This is the infamous relationship-building game. ADS pressure you to buy thousands of dollars in high-margin jewelry or less popular watches just to be considered for the one you actually want. Most people can't or won't play that game, but the grey market dealers can. Fueled by colossal, price-insensitive demand from China, these dealers had the capital to walk into an AD and solve their business problems. They would agree to buy entire bundles of unwanted goods, ladies' watches, precious metal models, whatever the AD needed to move, just to get their hands on a single steel Daytona. The dealer might even take a loss on the bundled items because the profit from flipping that one hype watch into the Chinese market was so enormous it covered everything. This dynamic created a global vortex. It systematically pulled the most sought-after Rolex models out of local stores in the US and Europe and funneled them straight into the pipeline to Asia. The watches never even saw a display case. They went straight out the back door. This is why you saw empty stores. The scarcity wasn't real. The supply was just being diverted to a more lucrative market. And the engine for this entire machine was China. In China, a Rolex isn't just a watch. It's the ultimate symbol of success and power. There's a common saying, the poor play with luxury cars, while the rich play with luxury watches. This cultural obsession created an unquenchable thirst. In 2023, buyers from mainland China accounted for about 30% of all global Swiss watch purchases. This demand was met by a sophisticated network of Daigou, which translates to surrogate shoppers. These agents would buy watches in Europe or the US, bypass China's high import taxes, and sell them to clients back home. They became an aggressive global sourcing machine, actively hunting down the hottest models worldwide and paying whatever it took to get them. The result? Global prices were no longer set by local supply and demand. The premium a buyer in Los Angeles or London had to pay was now being dictated by what a wealthy client in Shanghai was willing to spend. The entire market was rigged. Between 2020 and 2022, this system fueled a speculative frenzy. A steel Daytona with a retail price around $14,500 was trading on the grey market for over $30,000, with some sales hitting a staggering $53,911. A standard Submariner that retailed for just over $10,000 was selling for over $15,000 and peaked at nearly $19,000. As a quick note, this is for informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Then in mid-2022, the bubble burst. The catalyst was a major economic slowdown in China. As their economy sputtered, the engine of the grey market died. The impact was immediate. Swiss watch exports to mainland China and Hong Kong plummeted by over 41%. The Bloomberg Subdial Index, which tracks the 50 most traded luxury watches, fell by nearly 37% from its peak. Just as the market was correcting, Rolex faced a catastrophic attack on its brand. In early 2025, a set of documents known as the China Leak was posted on social media. These documents allegedly exposed Rolex's production costs, suggesting markups of 85 to 90% over manufacturing. Chinese consumers were furious, feeling they had been exploited. The backlash reportedly forced Rolex to do the unthinkable, issue price cuts of 10 to 20% on certain steel models to calm the anger in its most important market. The leak shattered the mystique Rolex had spent decades building. So what's the takeaway from all this? First, the Rolex scarcity you experienced was largely manufactured. It was a corporate strategy that enabled a rigged system. Second, for years, the China grey market was the engine that drove global Rolex prices into a speculative bubble. And third, that bubble has burst. The era of guaranteed astronomical returns on common steel Rolex models is over. The rigged game has been exposed, and the brand's illusion of exclusivity has been permanently challenged. Now I want to hear from you. After learning how the supply was controlled and prices were manipulated, has it changed how you view the Rolex brand? Let me know in the comments below.